4 pedophiles have been jailed in Germany for raping boys after luring them to a shed where they drugged them and abused them for days. Adrian V, 28, a computer technician and the ringleader, led the sexual abuse in a shed belonging to his mother, who fetched the men breakfast as they assaulted the victims. Along with 3 other men, Adrian V was found to have trapped boys in the garden shed from April 2020, where the victims were drugged and raped over the course of 3 days. One of the victims, now 11 years old, was the son of his girlfriend. Prosecutors presented some 30 hours of video evidence, much of which had been shared in darknet forums. The other men are believed to have met Adrian V online. They are Marco School, 35, an IT expert from Hanover, Tobias School, 30, a craftsman from Hesse, and Enrico L., 42, a care provider from Brandenburg. Germany's privacy laws mean that surnames are not disclosed. The chief defendant's mother, Karina V, 45, was found to have been aware of the abuse. The court heard that she had brought the men breakfast while they took turns assaulting the children. Presiding Judge Matthias Filer expressed shock at the horrific events covered in the trial, calling the video recordings deeply disturbing. The proceedings also clearly showed how pedophiles operate. They trick, they lie, they manipulate those around the victims, he said, adding that he was repulsed to see that the defendants grinned and even laughed loudly while evidence against them was presented. Filer said he was relieved none of the victims had had to testify in the trial. Adrian V, from Munster, was jailed for 14 years. The other 3 men were jailed for between 10 and 12 years. The mother, Karina V, was jailed for 5 years for aiding and abetting. Police are still screening evidence uncovered from the abuse in the shed and have used it to identify suspects across Germany and abroad. Five men have already been convicted and sentenced in connection with the case, and investigators have identified 50 suspects, of whom around 30 are in custody. The current trial began last November and the sentences were broadly in line with what prosecutors had demanded. It is just one of a series of gruesome child abuse cases to rock the German state of North Rhine-Westphalia over the last year, prompting a tightening of legislation. In June 2020, investigators said they were probing some 30,000 suspects as part of an investigation into a large online pedophile network linked to the city of Bergisch Gladbach. In an earlier scandal in Lugda, 80 miles from Munster, several men abused children hundreds of times at a campsite over a number of years. In response to the series of cases, the German parliament in March agreed tougher punishments for using and sharing child pornography. The law also gives police and prosecutors broader powers to monitor online communication of suspects.